In today's video, we're going to be covering everything that you need to know about Suicide Squad's endgame content. That means we're going to be covering everything from how do you actually get to the endgame, what's actually in the endgame, and more. The first thing is, how do you actually get endgame content? Well, it's as simple as just playing through the base game. Just follow the story missions, do as much as you can. Eventually, you'll unlock something called the Nexus. And if you go into the Nexus, you can actually hit a button that'll kind of explain what the endgame is about. But all you have to do to unlock the endgame content is just play through the game like normally. So what is actually inside the endgame content? What do you actually do? As I said before, there is a button that will explain some of this to you, but I found it to be very confusing until I actually got my hands on the game, and here I am to help you out. The first thing is it talks about new support squad missions. This is simply just new missions for your squad as you did throughout the base game. It's going to unlock new abilities. For example, the Poison Ivy can now supercharge the afflictions that she adds, things like that. You do want to do those because those will add all sorts of new ways to upgrade your character that are pretty important and pretty useful, especially for building endgame builds that will help you on those harder content. Then there's incursion missions, which is like your bread and butter of the endgame. Essentially, there's going to be these missions that you have to go and pay a currency called Promethium, which is not real money. It is just simply a in-game currency that you can unlock by just going and doing missions. There will be missions all around the map that you can go and do. You get the Promethium, and then you can use that Promethium to buy into the incursion mission. So what exactly are the incursion missions? Well, there's 3 different incursion missions that you can do. They all have a different objective. One of them is there are these incubator pods that are guarded by these like power cell things that you have to go and destroy. So you clear out all the enemies. You clear out, once the enemies are cleared, you're able to destroy the power cell thing, whatever you want to call it, that protects the incubator. Then you got to run to the incubator, kill the incubator, do a finishing blow on it, and move on. Once you get all of the incubators down, you're able to escape. Now in the incursion missions, and this includes all of them, not just this one, you are timed. So you have a time limit that you need to complete this in. One of the other incursion missions are you are tasked to protect Ivy's plants. So Ivy will grow, I think it's like 3 different plants or objective points that you have to go and protect. Essentially, enemies will show up on one of these or sometimes multiple of them at a time, and you have to go clear them out to protect them. If you do this long enough, you win the objective, and then you just have to escape within the allotted time for the incursion mission. The other final third incursion mission is essentially you're going to be bombarded by a bunch of enemies. You're going to kill all of those enemies. You're going to get some charges. Once you get charges, you're going to run back to a safe area. You're going to interact with this thing in the middle that does like a big blast, clears out the wave, and then you do another wave. Once you pass all 3 waves, you can then once again escape the mission within the allotted time. Now with each of these incursion missions, there is a difficulty called mastery. What you want to be doing is playing on the highest mastery level possible. This is because if you complete all 3 incursion missions on the highest mastery that you have available, you will unlock the next mastery difficulty, as well as you are going to get better rewards. That means more resources, but also you're going to get higher tiers of the incursion mission only specific gear set, Bane's Infamy or something like that. I forgot the name of it, but essentially there is a set of red gear, which is the highest rarity in the game, that is themed around Bane that you can unlock only through these incursion missions. As you go up in the mastery levels, you'll unlock higher tiers of that gear. See, there is tier 1 through 3, but you can only get tier 1, and I think it was like mastery 1 to 10, and then tier 2 and tier 3 you have to unlock these higher mastery levels. The bread and butter of the end game is going to be doing these 3 incursion missions, continuously going up on higher difficulty, getting more resources, more rewards, etc. On top of the new squad missions that you get, as well as the incursion missions, you also have a game mode called Killing Time, and essentially this is a wave-based horde mode. You will jump into the map, you're going to have a set time limit, and every time you get a kill, that's going to raise the time limit. But the longer you go, the higher the difficulty will go. They'll continuously raise the mastery level of the wave-based mode. And so the goal is just to survive as long as you can. You're going to go as long as you can, and you're going to try to escape. Now, if you escape, which is just running to the portal and jumping out, you can keep all of your rewards and get all of the resources that you got during the time. However, if you don't escape, then you lose all of the rewards. Now, on top of all of this, you also have the Metropolis invasion levels, which is essentially just more difficulty. So in the base game, you have your difficulty that you chose. Well, if you earn enough XP on the hardest difficulty available, it will unlock another difficulty called the invasion difficulty. Now, you want to keep unlocking these because these invasion difficulties will actually give you specific loot only available in that. So basically, always play on the hardest difficulty that you can get. Now, just to recap before we close out this video, you're getting new squad missions, which are essentially one-time missions that will give you new ways to improve your character. You really should be doing these, especially before you go into any of the other endgame content, because it'll really help you flesh out your character build. You're also getting new difficulties with the invasion difficulty. Again, if you get enough XP on the highest difficulty available, you'll unlock the next invasion difficulty. You want to be unlocking these because not only will you get specific loot to those difficulty, you're also going to be getting more resources, which will help you pay for the incursion missions. And again, it is not real currency that you have to pay for those. It is just a in-game currency. But get those better and harder difficulties because you're going to get more resources and better loot. Also, you have a new game mode called Killing Time, which is essentially a wave-based mode where as you get kills, your timer will go up and the difficulty will increase. The longer you survive, the better resources and rewards you're going to get. However, if you die without actually escaping, you're going to lose all of those resources. Now, finally, you have the incursion missions, which are the bread and butter of the end game content. There's going to be 3 missions. Each of them have their own objective type. You're going to go in, you're going to play them on a specific difficulty, and you're going to try to complete the mission within the allotted time. And again, you want to be playing on the hardest mastery level and the hardest difficulty that you have available. This way, you're getting the most loot and you're getting the most rewards. And for the incursion missions, the harder difficulty you play on, it allows you to unlock the next difficulty and so forth. And as you unlock harder difficulties, you'll be able to get better versions of the end game loot. Because remember, there are multiple tiers to this loot, and the higher mastery level, the better the tier that you can get. That will be everything for me today. And if you did enjoy this video, make sure to go hit that like and subscribe button. It's very, very helpful to me. And if I did miss anything, please let me know. I will make a pinned comment for anything that I missed. So if you're looking for information that I didn't cover, make sure to check out that pinned comment. It might be in there. And if not, well, then let me know and I'll put it in there. You guys have a wonderful day. Incursion out.